Hello, beautiful people of YouTube. Hope everybody is doing well as possible, in high spirits as possible. All right, let's get right into it. As always, please remember to only take what resonates. If something is negative or confusing, you can cancel, clear, reject it. We set the intention for high vibrational truth, the clarity, accuracy, healing, and anything else that your guides and angels see fit for the highest good of you and all involved in this reading, all connected in this reading, okay? This is an energy update. We're just going to be looking at basically what's going on with everybody. What messages do your spirit guides have for you? What do they want to talk about? What's going on for you guys? Okay. Thank you always to everybody who is here as well. And as you know, you can always email frequencyoftheheart@gmail.com for personal reading inquiries. Interesting. Throat chakra stuff right away. Okay, Knight of Swords, a little bit of, I feel like this is trying to prove oneself. I don't know if this is somebody around you or you. There could be a little bit of this defensiveness, feeling like we have to prove ourselves, feeling triggered by the past or things in the past, feeling triggered by our journey in the past of having to always be on guard or on point and stand our ground, not being able to be as emotionally free as we would like to be, as soft, as romantic, as lovey, as connected, as open, as offering, and instead having to be like in this energy of I have to stand my ground, I have to fight my way through, I have to survive, I have to be on point, I have to be ready, I have to push through all of the muck and the mess. And it's almost like you're defending, either because you've been through this journey, you're defending yourself, or you're defending yourself against this somehow. You're feeling some kind of way about having to be in that, having to do that, okay? And again, this could also be somebody around you who is feeling like this. Take it where it resonates for you. Now, moving into the future, excuse me, moving into the future energies from where you are now, we see something about, it's like you taking charge. Instead of waiting on something to come in for you or something to show the way or the path to be revealed, it's like you stepping up and taking charge of a situation. All right, let's get a little bit more into this. Let's get some more clarity, some more details. Okay, more past stuff here. Interesting. Some of this energy we were talking about in the past, where you had to really be on guard, stand your ground, fight your way through, be in that Seven of Wands energy. Some of this also fueled and perpetuated passion for you. So this could have been an interest in something artistic or a way you expressed yourself, sensuality, movement. Okay, Ace of Wands energy. It's almost like that struggle also fed or fueled some kind of an artistic or a passionate pursuit for you or the person that this is pertaining to. Give me more about this, please. Wow. So it's okay. Here's what I'm getting. This is going to be really nuanced. So I don't know if this is actually going to be for everybody that watches. As always, if something is negative or confusing, it's not your message, okay? This is either going to speak directly to you or it's not. You can always revisit it later if you feel called. What it feels is that the further away from some sort of struggle you've gotten, the Seven of Wands energy, the less prominent your passion, a specific passion, has become. And there's mixed emotions about this because in one way, it's like you've wanted to move into more peace. You've wanted to move into more not having to always struggle. But on the other hand, the struggle is part of what was fueling or feeding the drive and the passion. And now that you've gotten further away from it, you feel less serious about it, or less prepared or committed to it, or less in it. It's more fleeting for you. It's more haphazard. And there's mixed feelings about this, because also, like, you there's a lot of, I get like the word blame. Like, I don't know if you blame somebody here and you don't feel like you got full validation, but then at the same time, like, that was what was fueling something that you really wanted. Or if it's that you blame your own self, or there's some kind of mixed emotions that are really complicated and deep here, and very sensitive. Like, somebody could say something and you get very, very sensitive. Anything they could say about this subject. And then again, this could also be for somebody around you, like where you're the one saying something and they're getting very defensive or sensitive. But I'm getting a lack of validation here. I'm also getting that there's a lot of deeper stuff going on behind this passion and how it was formed, how it was formulated and created in the first place. I feel like give me a little bit more, please. Thank you. Yeah, this is crazy. It's like you had to sacrifice. It's like, in order to emotionally move on and up, to empower yourself, feel better, and get out of like a really heavy, taxing vibration, you had to emotionally move on. But what you also felt you emotionally moved on from wasn't just the toxic, it was the passion that was there too. Or the person you're dealing with feels this way. For some of you, this was like a creative career. It was something artistic. For others, this could have been literal, like lust, desire, passion, some kind of movement, something you were interested in creating. And now when you get re-triggered, maybe you feel reanimated to that passion. You were dealing with a lot of narcissistic energy before, or very toxic power dynamics. And now you have a really strong distrust around being dependent, any kind of dependency, or even authority, okay? So what about this passion? What about this passion that feels like it's kind of being lost, or it's not as strong? I feel like there's going to be another or others, but what does Spirit want to say about this passion that you feel is lost or gone, or that you're, barely able to get in again? They want to let you know this passion, they're saying, marked an era. It marked the end of an era. Like, this passion, for you now to revisit it, is a comfort zone. When you are emotionally going back into some pains, comfort zones, whatever, that's what that passion marks for you. Could also be connected to a mother here. That is an old way, an old life, an old way of doing something. It's a comfort zone for you. And to think that this is the only passion for you is actually fear and limitation. That is a thought process of fear and limitation. Of course, it's normal to grieve something that we once loved or a way we expressed, but it is not your only path or your only way. There could be some emotional distance between you and a masculine air sign right now or in the future. Okay, this could also be them being a bit distant, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, but this could also pertain to you feeling a bit closed off, separated from being able to articulate, being able to speak or express or use your voice from a different source than what you once were operating from. This really looks like a source change, a source swap to me. Things in life fuel us, and for a different reason psychologically. Like, one thing that comes to mind is the idea or concept that we might choose a passion, even if it feels rebellious, or an expression, rebellious to our parents, for example, or to the authority system. We might actually choose this in hopes that they will be fond of us at the same time. Or we might choose this to gain some kind of approval that we didn't have. Or, you know, on a deeper level, we might hope for some sort of attention or applause from this that we were seeking to keep having, that we don't have any longer, or that we never had at all, or some kind of love or attention. We could be craving, desiring, desperate for this. And that could have been where an old passion or a passion you've had in your life that is now kind of flickering, where that could have been born from. Could have been born from really needing something, even some kind of validation. Again, it could have been born from the struggle. And the more you move away from the struggle, the less you identify with this form or this passion, this way that it wants to express. And that's hard for you, because some people, they hold on to their struggles for that reason. They want to keep the art. They want to keep the expression. They hold the pain. You, on the other hand, you're going on a journey where you don't really have to hold the pain. So there can be some distance here. I'm getting like, no, I don't want to believe. I don't want to allow that in. I don't want to be close. Like, and this could be very deep down on a deeper level, where you like are emotionally like, I'm just going to do it all. I'm going to be strong. And strong to you could look like not emotionally allowing somebody to interfere or get close enough to you, or allowing yourself to believe that you're capable of stepping up at a certain level in a certain way. Okay, what else do your guides want to say about this? You could be receiving some support soon. I noticed my left thumb is itchy, and the left hand usually, or the foot, is like receiving some kind of money or income or support. And the fact that it's the thumb is like a very, to me, that's like a root finger. So you could be receiving some kind of support, even if it's not literal money, just, you know. Yeah, Ace of Swords, this is a lot about your communication, your throat chakra, your expression, your writing, your voice, you know, how you allow yourself to express your truth. And if your truth was, the way you express your truth, if it was wrapped up with or bound to the struggle and this particular form of passion before, it could be really challenging for you to understand how you could be liberated and express it from a different place in the future, or from a different stance. Even if you were expressing on the struggle, you're at a different, in a different position expressing it. So it could be hard for you to see how that's possible, how you're valuable or worthy enough to even have a voice that's worth being heard, which it is, by the way, always, if it's your truth, always. Yeah, you could feel worried you're going to be overlooked. Maybe you already were before. You'll be worried it's going to happen again, that it's going to be like the odds are going to be stacked against you, that you're not going to get a lot of help or support here, like a lot of little blessings or big blessings or blessings along the way to help you. You could fear how long something might take. Maybe it's already been slow moving, but then there's also a part of you that's very aware that this is supposed to happen the way it is. Like, you might not acknowledge that part of you right now or see that, but I feel like you've always felt that this would come, or has been on its way to you, that it has been cultivating, that it's been in the works. And there's a knowing deep within you. You don't even need to have that knowing at the forefront, because you know you're going to take action where you need to, when you need to, how you need to. But just if you want it, here it is. Yes, there is something very solid, very supportive, very stable that has been moving for you, with you, to you forever. And you've been aware of it, even when you were in the old struggle. You've been aware of it at deeper levels. And that's part of what has made you feel secure enough to even choose to hop into more happiness. I mean, if you just take a step back and look, here's our divide. This is basically your present to past energy. And this is your present into the future energy. And just look at all the yellow sticking out in the future, near future, and future energy. The yellow is really that happiness, it's that healing, it's that health, it's that sunlight. And in the past, you see a lot of grays and blues, feeling exhausted, feeling dim. Some of your richest, deepest, emotionally freeing moments, peaceful moments, were when you were walking away here, when you were trying to move forwards for yourself and letting this stuff go. Even your passion had a gray background. Even your passion had some of that exhaustion and pain so deeply interwoven in it, so yeah, when you see yourself moving forwards, there's a lot of stuff that really suits you. Not the idea of who you think you were supposed to be, should always have to be because you developed an ego or an identity around it, or you're trying to prove your worth, which is one of the deepest things. Like the rejection of that can feel like death, literal like death in our soul, in our spirit, but anxiety, stress, exactly, overwhelm. But who you actually are, that's who you've been working to become. As we talk to you about so often, that's who you've been developing. That's who you've been stepping into. What else is here? Please and thank you. King of Wands. This is you as a leader, I feel. Now, it could be a masculine Sagittarius, Aries, Leo person in the future energy. That's possible as well. But this is you stepping up into that leadership position, not taking no for an answer, really knowing who you are. This can also be the ego compensating, okay? Oh, there is a father wound showing up for some of you connected to the past struggle as well. But not just this. I feel like this is a can I trust myself wound. Do I know how to provide stability and support for myself? And what I keep getting in this reading is like, you do reach the other side, or you already have, a new part of your life, a new section of your life, and you still have some frustrations. You still can view, this Knight of Swords energy, this King of Wands energy. You can still look back and feel defensive or frustrated or triggered, or like you didn't get the validation that you were requiring or needed. That can still be part of this process here. That's okay. It doesn't mean you're not progressing. It doesn't mean you're not growing. And it's easy also to feel like, yeah, but I did that, or this was me. Like it can be a long process sometimes to really let go of what you used to really love, or what really got you through the struggle. Even when it doesn't suit you anymore or call to you anymore, it can still be hard to let it totally go. And it's not even that you have to. It's all about what feels right for you. It's all about developing honesty with yourself, and also realizing that the source of this doesn't have to be the source that fuels it in your present. You could still do that passion or that thing, maybe in another way, and maybe it just needs a chance to redevelop itself. There's all different angles to take here. There's not one definite road. This is just some of these internal processes that are coming up right now. I love that the Five of Swords is in reverse though, because I do feel like this is you have like conquered a heavy portion of really narcissistic energy in your world, in your life. It's like conquering that betrayal that comes, the shame that comes, the stuff that fuels narcissism and all of its expressions within yourself and outside of you, in your reality, your world, people around, the betrayal wounds, the self-service at the worst degree. Like you've really overcome and healed a lot of this by integrating, by seeing, by understanding, by unraveling shame and guilt and fear and stepping into more of your own truth. Like that alone has really reset the bar. Okay. Why is the Tower showing up in the past on its side? Please and thank you. There's still a little bit of blurriness about things that feel open-ended. Like there's some open-ended energy here. There could have been emotional confusion around this. This could have been around sisterhood, family, friends, people you were connected with, emotional situations. Maybe we still are not totally seeing that. And maybe the reason we haven't been able to fully let go of some elements is because we haven't seen the full truth about what actually happened. We haven't been able to admit it to ourselves or to see through that jungle, that emotional jungle. okay? Spirit's letting you know it's not a bad thing. The truth is not bad. The truth is not scary. In this instance, the truth is really not against you. If anything, it would liberate some of your grief and it would help you see more clearly, for one, that you're not at fault the way you think you are. Some of you are heavy self-blame, heavy self-guilt, like you really, really, deep down, you could really be like, I was the problem. I always was the one doing, which that's okay. It's not being obsessed with being good or bad. It's more just seeing the truth of things at a deeper level. Anything else your guides want to say here? Yeah, some of this emotional distance, blocking that you've got going on, not totally open for a new start. Again, it's linked to what we're holding in the past. So let's just see, how might you go about healing that emotional distance, shut offness, wounds with yourself? How might you go about healing some of that if you feel like you would like to? What does Spirit recommend? Yeah, stepping out of the comfort zone a little bit, the same old routine. These are those little leaps of faith, okay? King of Swords in reverse with the Hierophant in reverse. This could be like, if you're dealing with especially a masculine air sign, this could be to stop trying to teach them or heal them so much, okay? This could also speak to you not doing things the same old way. If you've been like a speaker, a boss, a manager, an organizer, somebody who uses their voice a lot to teach, or in a traditional sense, or within a corporation, if you've had to be in that leadership, masculine, cold, organized energy, religion, whatever this is with the Hierophant in the reverse here, some kind of a typical thing, like part of healing this emotional distance, it's actually not partaking in the same thing anymore. It could also be not going into a serious traditional commitment with the air energy here. Let me get some more. But this King of Swords can represent an air sign in your life, masculine, but it can also speak to your own the way you organize, the way you speak, you as a writer, you as a boss, if you're kind of in a more cold, logical energy, or you have to be, it can represent a lot of different characters and parts of yourself. Clarify this for healing, how to heal this emotional distance. This is like I feel like this is not offering so much of yourself to this traditional role or to this person. I really do. I feel like it's not offering so much of yourself, which is kind of ironic, right? Because you're like, well, I'm closed. If I don't offer, I'm even more closed. But it's not this. It's like, it could be easy for you to give, harder sometimes to let go, allow, give up the control, surrender, trust enough to receive. For some of you, this is about separation or a breakup. Or like allowing yourself to be at odds. This is interesting. Let me clear the energy really fast. Help me see this very clearly, please, and deliver these messages clearly. Heart to heart, truthful vibration. Please, angels and high vibrational spirit guides, help me deliver this advice to them very clearly. Please and thank you. Please help us deliver this advice very clearly for how to release this emotional distance. Please and thank you. Okay, yes. And that's what I was just feeling, like why I had to reset the energy, because I was feeling this fear starting to well up, like, oh no, my worst fear is coming true. I should or shouldn't be doing this. I have to do. It's also not like this, okay? It's not about fear here. It's the opposite. It is the opposite. All right? This could also look like admitting where you are at odds with each other, I'm hearing. for some of you. Okay, give me more, please, clearly about the advice of how to open up this emotional. See, this is like a strong release of trying to build a new reality based off the old one. And we also have been talking about that for a long time. But these patterns just don't work. And in order to see that, we have to see it. We have to see what hasn't worked. We have to see what really happened. We have to see how it went in order to see history repeating itself, basically. The instability of the past can be replicated in the present. You can build off of an unstable foundation if you don't recognize that it's exactly what you're doing. It's like literally think of a foundation of a new home. And the old one is cracked, it's on a sinkhole, it's on unstable ground, its water levels are off, all of this. But imagine that you never look at it. You never examine it. You give some orders to tear the old house down and rebuild on that foundation, or on a different one, but you never actually go over to the foundation and look at like, okay, so these cracks, this mold, this indentation, this uneven ground, you've got your leveler out. Like this all means that this foundation isn't working. This is why this foundation wasn't able to support these walls and support this house, why this house has failed, or why it's, not failed, but why it's fallen down. It hasn't been built the way I was hoping, the security and stability I was hoping for. So then when you go to build a new house, you have that knowledge of what to look for that might indicate that, hey, this isn't a very secure foundation or a secure land. If you want to go even deeper, it's like the land itself, the ground. Maybe it has some telltale signs like the other ground, that it's not going to be secure. And it's like, if you don't look and see that and understand that and know that, you can't carry that knowledge with you. But knowledge is power. It's not meant to put you in a cage or make you afraid. So there has to be a balance point as well, because sometimes when we learn that, we become afraid. And now we're so afraid that every plot of land looks like it's going to be unstable and wrong and destructive, and oh my gosh, is it mush, is it grass, what does it mean, it's like really asking for a clear mind and a clear heart, taking a deep breath and looking at the facts, the truth, the realness of what really has been from your experience, your perspective, what you experienced, and also some deeper truths can come up from there. Because once we also see our own experience, we are not as strong of a projection mode of like everything is personal, everything was about you being rejected as a person or you not being enough. Like we're able to actually step back when we validate ourselves in a more calm light and see the psychology of others as well, that is not actually really about us. It's not personal. And it was never about us not being enough or that. It actually just was about the person. Even if they were a person like a parent or something, or a teacher, or somebody around us, the society, a system, a school, So, yes, let me just try to wrap this up with one more clarifier. I don't know if those metaphors came out very good, but this is like a lot of unhappiness in love and in relationships. I do see that coming through. Not having a happy family or a happy home. Being overburdened, having too much responsibility, needing to let the past go by seeing it, by seeing what hasn't been working. Feeling very defensive or triggered about the past as well here. This could be letting the past go even with somebody. Recovery after instability, making things, more stable after things fell down or fell apart. I also feel fear. I feel like you need to be very careful when it comes to divination for yourself, or, you know, divination with, like, if you're uncertain about the reader or the place, like whatever it is, be very careful. Okay, and this has been out for a while, but I'm feeling it again right now. It can be very, the channel, the veil's very open. It can be really easy in a way for fear to come in and try to manipulate or warp what's being told. And simply, I know fear has its place. It's not to villainize fear, but it's just that I don't want to read for you out of fear. I don't want to deliver fearful messages to you, and I don't believe that if you're hearing something in fear or confusion that it's a true message for you. I don't feel that the truth actually is fear. I feel that that's more of a distorted energy, okay? Especially when we're talking about emotional and energetic psychological fear. So, like, just be careful with anything that you might read for yourself or do that would discourage something for you that is actually positive or that you actually love. And look at this. I didn't even see this before, but on the bottom of the deck, who's hanging out? The Magician. Yes, because there's also a little thing called manifestation. You know, however that is, the law of attraction. There's a lot of changing tides, timelines, possibilities, potentials. Okay, there can be a lot of leftover residue from what you've already been through as well at play here. There's a lot of possibility for you to manifest, for you to create, for you to choose, okay? And for your intuition also to be perceived through different lenses. Hopefully the middle lens. We don't want to go one side or the other, radical, but whatever it is, there's options. Some of you could have been hurt by an earth sign before, and that residue can still be with you, and that's actually part of what they're telling you to look at, to clear out so that it's not affecting a current situation, to actually be honest with yourself here, to recover your losses and to see if you're holding on to some of those old paradigms. That won't be for everybody. That earth sign for some of you could have been money, it could have been career, it could have been the way you looked at money and career, it could have been the way you looked at what you're capable of and what money is tied to, what your capacity and capability is tied to. How do you make wish fulfillment here? For some of you, foreign is going to be very wish fulfilling. Taking a trip, okay, or just going into more peace in your life is what's going to fulfill your wishes. Not trying to struggle and start over in the struggle again. That's not going to be it for you. That's going to break your heart. That's going to take you down. It's going to limit you. It's going to trap the freedoms that you want, okay? When you learn something new, you can start something new, taking on new mindsets and paradigms, not projecting them into the new. That's all I can say for you guys. Look at this, like, this mess. All right, love you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you always for receiving. You're amazing, and please take care of yourselves.